Hey everybody, that's the Trafford Centre, Manchester up ahead. We're gonna head over there, and we are driving today the new 2017 Jaguar F-Pace. It's okay. I'll be honest, it's okay. Let's get going. Hello everybody, it's Charlie Veitch here. Today is the 1st of November and I'm in the sun here. There's nothing I like more than on a lunch break to come out to the Trafford Centre in southwest Manchester. It's probably one of Europe's biggest and most luxurious shopping malls. It was opened about 20-25 years ago, and what people like about the place is the free parking. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the Trafford Centre, even though I've just given it a plug. The horrible faux Roman, faux Greco architecture, the pillars, the pyramids, the statues. I actually have to admit, I do like the white marble statues. They're very beautiful and they appeal to my ancient aesthetic appreciation. How's that for alliteration? Anyway, look, I think it's very important at every time, every moment, every time of your life to always look at the big picture and don't get caught up failing to see the wood for the trees. Don't be so reactionary against incredibly small things that are happening, or daily occurrences, or things like that. Now, I touched upon this in my resurrection video, the one a couple of weeks ago where I came back to YouTube, and I see the particles of individuals that we all are. When viewed from a great enough vantage point, we become waves. When viewed from a historical viewpoint, the energies, the suffering, the pains, the desires, the passions of men become waves. And, you know, people who are old enough, a lot older than I am, I'm only 37, but people who are a lot older than we are can see these waves, and they see what's happening in the world, and you know, they have slogans like never again or never forget, and for very good reason, but I think again that's wishful thinking. We know the great crashing waves of humanity and humanity's psychotic and also, I guess, positive and beautiful outpourings are going to crash against each other all the time. Drop 2 pebbles in the pond and the waves will crash and cancel out and amplify and de-amplify, as in neutralize. And the big one at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, is there's a culture war between, I guess, we'll straw man here for a bit. Let's straw man, so that makes it easier. We've got in the red corner, we have your liberal, left-leaning, socialist thinking, communist thinking, anti-fascist, Antifa, people who wish to change the world through any means, violent revolution, you know, upset the social order, upset the hierarchy, and bring about a utopian, equal, egalitarian world where everyone's rights, be you black, gay, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist, transsexual. In the red corner! Again, to straw man, forgive me. You've got your right-wing traditional reactionary to these modern things. You've got the traditionalists, the conservative people, those who believe that there is something worth conserving in the myths, the rituals, the morals that have come down to us from antiquity. That people believe that tradition and reverence to tradition will keep us on the correct path, and they view religions and holy books of things as guidestones, as instruction manuals about how to live your life morally and to achieve great happiness, not just on an individual level but on a societal level. Now again, I'm being extremely strawman-y here. I mean, if I think the healthy person in the Aristotelian eudaimonia, look it up, eudaimonia, understands that the safest and happiest, and I guess that which is functionally most useful, could be called most true, So the true path is down the middle. You're neither a communist and you're neither a right-wing conservative. You're somewhere down the middle, which I guess would make you centrist dad again. But anyway, the whole point of this talk was to avoid these woods. And you see, this culture war, just to kind of touch upon it again, they big each other up, they rouse each other up, they actually rattle the coffins and resurrect these dead ideologies from the grave. I mean, Lenin and Hitler and Pol Pot and fucking Ho Chi Minh and Nikita Khrushchev and JFK with a big hole in his head spinning in their graves. That this shit, this bullshit is getting resurrected and it's getting thrown around by guess who? The media! The media has a vested interest in keeping opposing sides fighting. And who controls the media? Big corporations. And what do big corporations need? They need you to never see the bigger picture so that you never get happy enough that you stop buying shit, you stop mortgaging your life, you stop getting Sky Television with 500 channels, 99% of which are utter shit. Big corporations don't want you to understand the things which I've been trying to grasp for the last 7 years full time. I'll tell you what they don't want you to grasp. They don't want you to know. And again, it's not a conspiracy. It's just business. It's just business sense. A corporation does not want its client base to know that they don't need the products of the corporation. And once you realize, says the man with the Ray-Ban sunglasses and the Jaguar F-Pace car, so forgive my hypocrisy. Once you realize that reality is a playing out in the now of infinite concepts and the beautiful interplay between chaos and order, that once you realize that you are a kind of warty, fat and smelly and hairy creature bubbling out from the infinite timeless power of the now, well, in fact, that doesn't help you. In fact, I recommend you go shopping and that you buy your nice designer clothing and buy your big Samsung televisions. And here's the thing, you know, touching upon Samsung, I did a video called Spy in the Store comparing Apple to Samsung, and it was quite funny. There was the guy in the Apple store with the man boobs, the bitch tits, and he was very aggressive in shutting me down, and Samsung were like, yeah, whatever, it was a guy filming, look at him. But any corporation that wants to live forever understands that they need to turn it into a quasi-religion. And we touched upon this in the other video, how ideologies, quasi-religions are kind of like crippled ways to stumble around. You're riddled with leprosy. Now, the question is, am I happy? Am I a happy man? Well, it depends what you mean by happiness, Tony. I have a duty, and despite the odds, and these are the odds everyone has, nothing special about me, despite the odds, I do my best to fulfill my duty, and fulfilling my duty as a father, as a family man, is the greatest happiness there is. Every man out there is yearning for a burden to carry, a giant stone, rock to push up a hill. Every man is looking for his cross to carry. And I think happiness lies in the space where you find the most ethical and moral burden that you can cope with, and you carry that damn thing, and you carry it as far as you can, and when you get knocked off the path, when you fall off the wagon, you get back on the wagon, you pick up your rock, you push that fucking rock up that hill, even though you know it's going to roll back down, you push it back up. And you know, we kind of, in a funny comedy straw man way, touched upon the culture war. But again, we are in the kingdom of fear, a term. Oh, my phone's ringing! I'll see you guys soon. What I was trying to say, before I was interrupted by the telephone ringy-dingy-ding-ding, was that once you stop crazily trying to change the world in this kind of infantile, protesty, angry, rah rah rah, give me more free shit, you know, you're wrong, I'll scream at you, I'll scream at that because I'm so much holier than thou, I'm up here, you scummy people, I am the intelligentsia, I am this like elitist intellectual and I know what's best for society and I'll drink champagne in Islington and decide, you know, what the fuck. So, and I was guilty of that to a certain extent. I mean, a lot of my previous videos were a kind of young man with no power, no economic power, no social power, ranting and raving against the world, running around with another bunch of kind of angry people. And so what I am saying is that we are very lucky here in the West to live in these incredible civilizations where we have healthcare and roads and, you know, morality, and it's honest enough. It is changing a bit now. The demographics of America, UK, Canada, Sweden, Germany, the demographics are changing a bit at the moment. And that is kind of ruining some of the kind of ancient, you know, politeness, the kind of European deferentiality, the kind of ability to live with strangers and a kind of Judeo-Christian moral universe of respect and no thievery. And, you know, again, you can pick holes in my argument because I'm speaking generally, and don't get caught up in the wood by the trees. Keep an eye on the wood. And some of us fly above the wood and we see the clouds, we see the stars, we see the sun, we see the moon. And fucking hell, that moon, 400 times smaller than the sun, but 400 times closer. Now, come on. Again, you saw the cosmology problem about infinite regress. And, you know, the anthropic or anthropomorphic principle. Choose one, they're both the same. Anthropomorphic principle says, well, of course we're in a universe that would support us, because otherwise we wouldn't be here to discuss it. But it is a fucking coincidence that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, but also exactly 400 times further away. And what I'm saying is, the coincidence that you're conscious and there's a subjective person there, there's you there, like actually you, the one guy, the one girl, the one, Neo, you're there. You're the one having this experience, no one else. And who knows how brainwashed we all are. And, you know, rather than pay for expensive psychological therapy, I speak to my camera. Anyway, it's enough of that. Thank you for sharing this slightly shouty journey with me. And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye from this car. And, you know, it's only a courtesy car. I don't really drive a Jaguar F-Pace. I drive a cheaper Jaguar than this, but it's nice to have something a bit swanky. Something a bit swanky to get the day going. But anyway, it's goodbye from the Trafford Centre. It's good evening from me. It's good evening from you. And you should have actually clicked end before this. But, oh yeah, one last thing!